Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Hey, the kid. Hey, real low key. Hey, Diddy Jones. Hey, living my best life. Child, I named this video, Ooh, child. Fool, you done fooled around and made yourself sick. And the reason I did name this is because Duke Pharaoh went home to Dallas. He been showing out so bad. Now, some people say he had like a stroke, like with the brain, the brain bleed kind. But other people over there in the Mo 3B section saying he had a sunstroke. Okay. Now, before I get to the other news, I'll just go over briefly what's been going on with him. Well, a couple of days ago, he made a video like in the airport, and he had like a long layover. It was about 10 hours or more. Okay, so then he finally touched down in Dallas. Well, he have a it's this new guy I've been seeing around for a couple of months, and they call him Flame. He kind of light skinned and stuff. Well, Duke is his hero. They called each other bestie. They call each other twin and all that kind of bullshit. And I have some more to talk about that, the twin thing and bestie thing. I'll talk about that later on in the live. Well, I happen to be tiptoeing around through the tulips on YouTube, out in the YouTube sphere, and I seen Duke in the back seat of a car. And it was like broad daylight. And he was going off, child. And I was like, what the hell going on? And so he had this guy Flame. That's his, his number one fan. Well, he is the one that's driving Duke around Texas, Dallas. And so they say, allegedly, that Duke is staying with this guy Flame. That he only just been knowing a couple of months. This allegedly. Well, he they was riding around and then they stopped. And Duke jumped out and he was going off, and it was just like in the middle of broad daylight, like in the Western days when they used to meet in the middle of the street, like at noon, and have a draw to shoot each other. It kind of put me in the mind of that. Like you go to the town and you think you the baddest, you know what, in the town. And he was calling out Josh, like walking up and down the street, hooting and hollering. He was calling out Josh. He was calling out Charleston White. And I don't know why he was calling out Charleston White. Charleston White was in Florida on a damn yacht. He was where you just came from. Oh my God. And he was clowning all day. I don't have Facebook, but they say he was on Facebook acting a bigger fool than he was acting on YouTube. He was on Instagram, all that kind of bullshit, calling people out. And I'll go on some more people that he called out later on in the live. I'm just telling you about what I seen that day. So when he jumped out the car, he was whoever he was fussing with. I think the guy named. Let me see what the guy name was. Hold on. Duke played in that woman yard, messing it up so long she got tired of it. We, hey, wait a minute, Bean Bobby, baby. Um, he was out there clowning, child, and the street that he was clowning on, like like he would talk nice to the people, like the crowd, and then he would get mean, and then he would be going off on them and stuff, and then Flame would be standing in front of him, like so they wouldn't jump on him and all that kind of bullshit. Now I don't know why Flame is being his chauffeur and having his face in all this bullshit, because he gonna get some heat. I ain't gonna be surprised he wind up beat up by somebody he don't even know who beat him up. Well, allegedly the car that he was driving, that Duke Pharaoh was in, the car had damage on it. I guess they had damage on it before they went there. Okay, and I'll get to that in a minute. Well, the Duke was saying he was a felon and he couldn't have a GUN. Well, when they jumped out the car, that's the first thing Duke grabbed at the Flame pants. You could see the GUN. And so the guy was telling him, I think the guy was Scooter or something like that. He was telling him, do not come on my property and this and that. And he was saying, I ain't coming on your damn property. And all that kind of bullshit. Like somebody pull up in front of your house, start out talking all that shit, and then y'all wind up getting into it because you don't want that child ass shit in front of your house. But that's how Duke was acting. Well, Peaches, which is another person over in the Mo 3 beef sector, she came from Clubhouse or somewhere. And they call her the PI lady, like she's a private investigator, okay? Well, honey, she went live, and she was on her way to the scene over there where Duke was. We'll come to find out the scene where Duke was at, causing a ruckus, that was her ex-husband's house. Like in that area, real close to where Duke was marching up and down the street. Well, honey, child, when, I don't know if Peaches heard it on the scanner. I don't know if she's seen it on the video when Duke was running up and down the street. I don't know. But she knew where it was, so she went over there. But she didn't go up to Duke. She was like across the street. Well, by the time she got there, the police was talking to Duke and stuff, and he told him, "Do not come back over there anymore. We're gonna arrest you for trespass because you ain't got no business over here." Now, allegedly, over there in the neighborhood where he was at, they say he was raised over there. Allegedly, I don't know where Duke was raised at. He could have been raised on the moon. I don't know. Just like y'all don't know where I was raised at. I could have been raised on the moon. It is what it is. Well, the police told them, y'all need to get on out. I'm over here. I'm going about your business. Well, now I'm going by what Peaches say. Peaches say that plane drew up out there so fast, from the scene of whatever him and Duke was doing. The plane left there so fast, his bumper fell off his car, child. He left it in the middle of the street. Now, if that's true, I don't know. I did, but I'm just going by hearsay. Because watching Duke makes me nervous. Because I just say I don't watch him. I'm just being for real. I don't watch his show, but I was glancing at the stuff, and that's when I seen him out there in the hot sun, hooping and hollering and shit. And so, like I said, I don't be going over there to his channel unless something really, 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 really going on. But like I said, it was making me nervous. And there's no reason for me to be nervous watching YouTube when I could watch something that's soothing or somebody just scratching, that I know ain't in the same state and all that kind of shit. Well, now, this is later on in the day, okay? I'm later on in the day moving around the YouTube sphere. Allegedly, 3 people got arrested on that incident that happened when Duke was walking up down the street, like he was on Gunsmoke. Okay, and so as I was moving around YouTube, he was on different panels all day and all night. He was wanting to meet up with Big Reed. He was wanting to meet up with Big Lack. He was wanting to meet up with. It was just he was just calling people out, child. And then when the guys would come on the panel, he would start talking crazy, like I don't know what you talking about. I ain't meeting you, and this and that. And then if the person not on the panel, then he was saying he had meet him. I'm ready to throw some fists. Meet me here, meet me there. What it is one scared and the other one glad. You see what I'm saying? Because it don't take all of that. You know, it don't take all of that. If you gonna whoop somebody ass, you just gonna whoop somebody ass. You ain't got to come on YouTube and say, hey, I'm gonna kick everybody's ass and I'm walking up down the street. Come here, such and such. Come. No. And the reason they do nobody do nothing to him because they know he's nuts. Because people don't do that. Okay? People don't do that. And I done seen where people, act just acting a fool and then they just start shooting out crowd up. They don't give a damn. I just seen the case of that yesterday where they was out at a picnic for the whole weekend. The kids was having fun. The younger people, like the 20 something years old, and the people in the neighborhoods, they weren't calling the police on them because they was doing what they do at the park, dancing, eating, having a good time. Well, I guess somebody got into it or whatever. Start shooting. Injured 11 people. Two died. Now I don't know what the outcome of that's gonna be, but I'm just saying it's fools everywhere. And like in that shooting, it wasn't no fight, it wasn't no arguing or nothing. A person just started shooting, and then other people just started shooting. And by the time the police got there, people walking them down the street with GUEs and their faces covered up. Child, I'm just saying. Now, Duke, you need to stop. You are too old to be walking up down anybody's street, calling anybody out. And child, they say your feet start hurting so bad, Duke, that you start walking on the back of your tennis shoe. That means you old. Your body cannot put up with that. Okay? Now I'm gonna tell you something that was tripping me out. Night before last, I was up. I be up all night. And so SD was on, and he had been on a long time. Duke was up there, Big Leck wound up there, and uh, Big Reed wound up over there, and they was calling each other out. And Duke was laying in the bed with a woman child. He had a woman, and she had purple toenails and this and that. Well, SD was calling her a bitch and this and that, and let me see your bitch. And Duke was saying, nah, I showed you enough like her purple toes. And him and her was just laying up there having a good time. Like, like grown folks do. Well, child, let me tell you what this fool did. Now y'all up in the bed laying up having a good time, but you on YouTube instead of really doing what you're supposed to do, entertaining your female company. With your ass on YouTube for all them hours. When I left YouTube that morning, he had got out of the bed and somebody was chauffeuring him around. He was in the back seat. I think it was the girl because I think SD kept trying to get her to show who she was. Because Coolin and SD was sitting up there guessing who it was. They were saying, Wicked Angel, such and such, such and such. And Duke was saying, no, 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 no. But why would you get up out of the comfort of bed and start riding around talking about kicking people's ass? So when he did that, when I seen that, I said, let me go sleep and start turning shit off. Well, when I woke up the next day, there was a bunch of shit going, gossip going on around the street. And they said Duke had a stroke. He's too old to be ripping and running up down the street. I'm just saying. And he been upset and run up down the street for days in Texas and being on YouTube, letting us see him acting fool. Now the next thing you know, they show him in a wheelchair in the emergency room with an IV in his arm. Now, dude, you said you were gonna be in Texas. You was gonna be there in May. Now, that was the first thing I heard moving around YouTube Street. Then they changed it. He was gonna stay there to June. I heard that out in the YouTube streets. And the last thing I just heard out there in the YouTube street, Duke gonna be there until the end of this year. Flame, you gonna take care of him to the end of the year. Flame. And he had a heat stroke because they said it wasn't the kind that you have with a brain bleed. Allegedly, his body temperature went too high, and they classified it as a heat stroke. And they say his temperature was like 104 or something like that. I don't know. But if you are acting such a goddamn fool that you have a fucking stroke on YouTube, it's something wrong with this picture. And there's something wrong with you. Anytime you walk on the streets of Texas so that you got to walk on the back of your shoe, it's time to hang it up, baby. Ain't nobody gonna fight you. But they don't want to hurt you. I'm glad they doing what they doing, ignoring you on the most part. And I seen you calling out Big Reed and Lack, and they hit the panel. And Jackie even offered you guys $200. Y'all hook up. Duke, if you meet him up, I'll give you $200. And whoever win, like a fight, a friendly fade, whoever won that will get $1,000. Now, you know, before that video was over, now they wanted to kill each other. They started laughing like little girls talking to each other. And then they would talk about killing each other. And then they were asking each other for the address. And then just back to giggling like two little girls. I say the same thing happened with Lack. It's a damn shame. Don't fall for the bullshit. Y'all hit Duke. That man gonna have a massive heart attack and he gonna die and you gonna be charged with murder. Don't mess with him. Let him go and roll that wheelchair that he was in on that picture. Let him roll that wheelchair up and down those Dallas streets and scream as loud as high as he can. Just don't go over there, guys. In pictures, you keep your ass down there too. Now, honey, the other day, these are days of activity that went on in the 3 seconds. Well, Duke was riding around being chauffeured, and he seen her. I guess Ashley got a Corvette or something. Ashley is one of Mo3 baby's mom. And so Duke said, "Heard Ashley, here go Ashley," and saying what kind of car it was and all of this and all of that. Okay. And then some kind of way Peaches found out that this the next day that after being out there with her baby daddy house, the next day she found out that somebody had got in touch with her and let her know that Duke was headed to the police station to put like harassment and harassment. I can't think of the name of the other. But Duke was going down there to put those charges on Peaches. But when Peaches found out about that, she found out what precinct he was headed to, because you know he was telling every goddamn thing. So therefore she found out where to go. And she went took her ass down there and put charges on him. Now, what kind of charges she put on him, I don't know. I don't know if it was the terrorist threat. I don't know if it was threatening or whatever. It's just a mess. I don't know if they could have filed restraining orders on each other. I don't know, because it's the biggest damn mess. But I think it's going to settle down now since the man that had a stroke. I hope he got no sense to stop. Because he killing himself. Ain't nobody doing nothing to him. Anytime you be on here clowning, so you have a Heat stroke. Well, it's really, to me, it's not hot enough for a heat stroke. But maybe it's from being up for days and going up and down the street and all of that. Maybe that made his body temperature go up. I don't know. I'm just puzzled. I've never seen nothing like it. But they say the stroke is a silent killer. So, I could understand that maybe he wasn't aware that he was having a heat stroke or a regular stroke. I don't know. Uh, Hopefully he'll get back to Florida. Um, and I don't know what the stroke, if it affected his body any kind of way. I don't know. But Duke, you gonna wind up in a nursing home because you too big to be pulling and tussling and rolling and somebody cleaning you up. You too big for that. And I don't think that white woman gonna do that. Now, I don't know if Flame will do it. I don't know how bad a situation you got going. So, like I said, I ain't going over there to watch it because it makes me nervous. And, my mind have to think. It just, I don't want to do that. Okay. So the other night when he was over there at SD's, because Trish always saying that's her deek. Okay. Well, when Trish, she hit the panel and they was just quiet. And she was saying something about she wanted to check on him. She wanted to do something. And he answered her short because he was laying up in the bed with that woman. And so he kind of like throwing Trish away. And Trish got her black ass out over there. I don't know what she said on her live. I don't give a damn. But I know one thing, Trish, you seen that man had a woman in the bed with him. And she had on purple toenail. Trish. With your nosy ass. Okay. Hey, watching from Cloud 9. You can be what you want to be on Cloud 9. Hey, TC. Hey, Tanya Jones. Hey, Corrine. Hey, AVA Superstar. Sure. Yeah, that fool had effed around and had a damn stroke. I don't know if it's a heat stroke or a regular stroke. Hey, LaKendra. Hey, the Beef Sector Podcast. Hey, Mahel. Hey, let me see if I got everybody. Hey, Cupcake. Girl, you had me laughing over there. Y'all subscribe to Cupcake. She is hilarious and she is a very smart lady. Okay. She's not no DUMMY. Okay. And she one of the sidewalk hoochies, and I'm one of them golden girls over there in the lab live, okay? Hey, Ted Bundy. Yeah, y'all subscribe to Cupcake. Any single guys out there? Go over there to Cupcake. Hey, Hassan. Yeah. Hey, Ron Shaker. Make sure I speak to everybody. Hey, real okay. Okay, let me get back down. Now I'm getting ready to go for my regular notes. That was just shooting it out the top of my head about the foolishness I've been seeing out here in the street. Hey, Keisha Taylor. But honey, all this Duke is, he know he's too old to be walking around acting up like that. I ain't finna do that. I'm not. I like being alive. You understand? I might. I tell you what. Well, I might have me a goddamn stroke from making love, from stroking. That's what I'm talking about. I'll be stroking. Yeah. Stroking to the north and stroking to the south. I stroke it everywhere. I even stroke it with my, I'll be stroking. Yeah, I be stroking. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Playing Scotta, playing Scotta. Woo! Playing Scotta. Okay, now this is what I want to talk about. Um, Gayle King, you know that's Oprah's one of her best friends in the whole wide world. Well, child, she made history today. Was it today? Yeah, today. She went in out of goddamn space. It was an all female crew, flight crew. It was six of them. Two of them was black, child. And before she went up there, she said she was terrified and she was excited. You know, she was scared and excited because she was getting ready to go out of space. Well, child, this thing went so fast. She went up there. They say normally it take like 10 or 20, 15. They had allotted them 11 minutes, okay, to go up there and come back. Well, they did it in 10 minutes. But they say that the sights that they seen up there was amazing. Now, Katy Perry, she also was on that flight. She's a pop singer. Child, when she got back down to earth and got out that goddamn ship, she walked and she fell on her knees and she kissed the motherfucking ground. Now, that would be something I would do, child. She kissed earth. Do you hear me? She was glad to have that ground under them feet from however high she went. And I thought that was great. So bravo, ladies. And like the black lady that went, the other lady, she was well, she don't do it anymore, but she was let me get that so I can tell y'all what she was. She had worked for NASA before, and she was a former NASA scientist, aerospace engineer. So that's a smart sister. And she have left NASA and she opened up two of her own companies. That she's the owner. And they like got something to do with the shit about outer space or that scientist kind of stuff. So the lady ain't no slouch, honey. And they show, I looked at all the people that was on there, read a little bit about each one of them so I could just talk to y'all about it. It was one lady that was an activist that went on there. It was a lady that got a big job in the LGBTQIA thing. It was another reporter, a reporter. I can't think of what her name was. Let's see. Okay, Katy Perry. That's the pop star. Let's see. Well, that's all I'm gonna talk about on that. But I'm so happy that the ladies went up there, and I'm so happy that they made it back to Earth safely. But child, that thing had to be going fast because they say it's a barrier thing once you get way, 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 way up there where you're in space. Where you could see their hair floating so they was out there where because like walking Earth, your hair don't fly all over your head. Fall flat to the ceiling. Well, their hair was had went up on their head and all that kind of shit. It was something to see. And I'm like I said, I'm glad that they went up there and they came back safely and they have something to talk about. Okay. Well, another thing that happened yesterday, that the governor of Pennsylvania, around 2 o'clock in the morning, they received some loud knocks at their door. And when they went to the door, it was the state police standing there and told the governor, man, you need to get your goddamn family and get up out of here. Okay? Because this motherfucker on fly. You need to grab all your folks. Now go on, get them. And come on now. So they went in there and got them out and everybody made it out safe. But what happened was there was a breach in the security. And when the police, they have state police, they say watching the governor house. Like wherever the governor is, somebody's there. Well, there was a breach in the security, so the security, which is the state police, they start walking around the governor's mansion trying to find who breached this and what happened. Come to find out, a man had scaled the fence, had avoided the security that was looking for him, went up there and towed the door up, went into the mansion, throw one of them Molotov, whatever they cocktail, and honey, that thing was on fire, honey. From what I seen on the news, it was black smoke coming out, all kind of bullshit. Well, the guy escaped. He avoided the security, which he did going to the scene, which he did when he went out. Okay. Well, they found him on down the road and they arrested him. Uh, he said, like today, I just heard this. This the new part of the story I just heard. He also had a hammer when he went in there in the mansion, and he said if that governor would have confronted him, which he didn't because the governor was asleep, with his family. But he said if he would have ran across that governor and he confronted him, he was gonna beat him out in his head with a hammer. Well, all day yesterday they had the governor on, they had the state police on doing interviews and everything, and they have charged him with arson, attempted murder, aggravated assault, and the man is 38 years old. Okay. Well, he meant to cause some real damage. And what come to the mansion, like when he breached it and got into the mansion, why come it wasn't no loud noise and alarms and shit going off? But they had to go in there and and they I guess the governor's Jewish, and I think they have a lot of things that they do around Easter, and he had company, like family members that stayed over. So it was more than him and his children and wife. Other family members was there, extended family. And they had been having dinner and, doing their Jewish celebrations. I don't know what they do every day, but I know there are rituals. And the governor said the haters got to stop. He don't know who did this. He was saying that on the news. And y'all are not going to scare me away from doing my job. So I don't know where they are now, the governor and his family, but they have already started restoring the mansion so the family can get back in as soon as possible. Okay. Now that's scary. Okay. And the governor name is Josh Shapiro. Okay. Now, Dobie had her Easter egg hunt yesterday. I'm sorry that I didn't, I don't watch those contests, but I do go to the end and see who won what. I don't know what happened. I have not watched it yet. I'll let y'all know what happened, next time I come on. And like I told you, Isha having her meet and greet and her passion party, and that's on May the 17th. Wait a minute. May the 17th and the 16th. May the 16th and 17th. Yeah, she having a meet and greet, and the tickets are like $25. And then on the 17th, she having her passion party, and the tickets are like $50. You get a free drink. There's free food, but after your first drink, all the drinks are $5. And they have a jacuzzi that'll be available. But what I'm understanding what a passion party is, they show you different toys, entertain, your mate with. Okay. Now that's it for what I was talking about on that. Now I'm getting ready to get to this damn YouTube news. Now, I keep hearing about this sex machine that J Dunn got. They say that she showed it on this. I didn't see it. I've been hearing about this machine for over a week. And Jadon has been being asked about the machine and blase this and blase that. And the people that I've seen asked her, like from the chat about this machine, she cussed them out. But they want to know what the name of the machine is, where you can buy a machine, where I can see what the machine look like, them kind of questions. And Jadon is sick of them. But whatever kind of contraption she showed the men talking about the dang and the women are talking about. Okay? And there was some different jokes going around the paper. I'm trying to think of one person. Hopefully I wrote some shit down on my notes concerning the machine. But where I'm gonna go to now is 357. Okay? They were still asking Texas 713 if he was messing around with Jade. And all 713 is answering is Jade is cool with me. We are cool. That's his only answer. Okay? And Cupcake Speaks got into it. The hell you mean? And I hate they got into it. Because I do watch her, the hell. I watched the hell you mean. I think that's her name. The hell you mean? Whatever. But they got into it, and well, it's some people I like, and I don't want them into it. But see, that's not my business because they grown, and if they don't get along, they just don't get along. Okay. But I'm just letting y'all know that I like both of those ladies. And Coolin and Wu got into it. Coolin was on 357 and they were just talking about having a good old time. Well, here come Wu black ass. And she showed her black ass up there. She was telling Coolin how she had a picture of Duck, you know what, his thing, and all of that. You know, she was drunk and she was just out of her mind. I stood as long as I could. I left. I hate I left because they say that her and Larry got into it on that live. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, and I'm into the B section now. Pizza, her lemon been into it. And on this live now, I have a whole lot. You know, I got like different lives with lemon. You know, because I haven't been on here in a couple of days, so this is a couple of days worth of gossip. Okay. Well, she's lemon. I mean, Pizza was mad at Lemon because she said he had left her backstage, and she feel like she was being disrespected. Okay. And then this was on Pizza show, and she also said that her and KRN had not made up. You know, he had not answered her if they could have a sit down. And she said they had not had no sit down yet, so they hadn't made up. Okay. But see, there's been a buzz around YouTube streets. They say that Pizza said that she wouldn't mind making up with KRN. Okay. Okay, so I left Pieces, then I went to Sin City. And she drug Duke, and I can't remember why she was dragging Duke. But this was before he was in Texas, okay? But I I don't know why she was mad at Duke. I can't remember. I mean Duke, what he did. Okay. And she was saying that, you know, how Jackie, you know, she's doing her income tax and stuff business right now. She do it every year, you know, but she's not the only content creator that do taxes on the side or that's their full-time job. Well, a lot of people saying that Jackie is like a fraud, she a thief, you know, and so that's kind of what uh Sin was saying. You know, she was talking against Jackie's job, but she's not the only one over there that's talking about her job. Okay. Then I went to Lemon. Now I got several reports on him because I have several days of bullshit. Okay. Well, on this live, he did address pizza. And he said that he wasn't going to be screaming and hollering with her, that she could do it. He wasn't going to deal with none of it if she come up on his panel. And he said that, he had a real love for her. And, they've just been going back and forth, kind of. To me, it's getting old, but if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do, okay? Let me see. Oh, the lady Nika and Pizza Child, it was a big old mess with them. Uh, I was in the live, and it was people on Nika panel, and they was having a good panel. And then I noticed everybody was gone from the panel, and Diva Tomboys popped up there. So that kind of threw me for a loop that everybody gone, but here come Diva. And so Diva and Nika talked for a long time, and Nika was asking Diva, what have I done to you? And I've never been nothing but courteous and kind to you, and this and that. And Diva was answering her like, hey, it's going to, you hanging around peace, and she do all this crazy shit. So, into Diva eyes, she said that since Nika Bree is cool with pizza, that they can get it, cause that anybody can get it. They can get it because they hang around with it. Bree and Nika hangs around with Pizarro. I don't agree with that. I agree with if you into it with a person, they go ahead. So I ain't finna go get who you cool with your friend. I ain't finna go get your family. I'm gonna get you. But Diva don't. She fight totally different. The way she feel, like I said, which is this, they not gonna break up. Nika, Pizza, and Brianna, they ain't gonna break up. Now, the beef sector have tried that for years. They didn't break up. So they're not gonna break up over Diva. Diva is an outsider of the beef sector. It is what it is. If the beef sector can't break them up, ain't no other sector gonna be able to break them up. I don't give a damn how mad you get. I don't give a damn who you dox. I don't give a damn what you say. We've seen them get to the boiling point before, and to put the lid on it, and it cooled down. We've seen this over and over throughout the years. And if you threaten to dox people, just cause of Pizarro, if anybody threatened to dox Pizarro, Nika and Brianna, and if you threatening jobs, they still ain't gonna break them up. They still ain't gonna break them up. They've been through this before. They've been through this over and over and over. If you're not in the beef sector, maybe you don't get it, but the beef sector get it. The beef sector know what's going on. And that's as plain as I can get it. Those ladies are cool with each other, even though they have their ups and downs. They are there for each other. And you either you like it or you don't. It might look like they finna really, really, really break up. And like Pizarro might go do a cussing video, which she did. But when they came together and talked, everything cool. Candy Cane, how you doing? What it is, what it is. Hey, Vibrant. The beef sector has seen this for years. We've seen this. We know this. But if they did fall out, ooh, child, it would be some good gossip. Okay? If they fell out, child, boy and daughter, if they fell out, ooh, child, we would get the nitty and we would get the gritty. Okay? But their relationship is strong enough where they're not gonna fall out. I'm serious. They're not gonna fall out. You know, it is what it is. You know, and like when they was into it, because what happened was Pisa got mad because Nika dropped her. Pisa feel like she should have been allowed to stay up there along with the other people that got dropped. Since Diva come in late, will come in on the panel later. And I can see her point. Okay? I can see Nika point. Because as soon as Diva and Pisa got on that panel together, if it didn't happen, I'm just saying, but if, when Diva came up there and Pisa stayed up there, Nika know they was finna get into it. I would have let them out. I would have let her up. And everybody just sit there. Well, see, that's Nika. She could do what she want to do. And that's why God give us our brain. Our brains don't think the same. And it don't matter what the hell I think. And evidently it don't matter what the hell this piece of thing, because Nika made her pan up. She was going to drop everybody and have Diva up there. Well, while they was talking, while Nika and Diva was talking, Olivia was up there. And Olivia was asking Diva questions, which Diva was answering, but it was going around the mulberry bush. And both of their tempers started rising. And, and before long, Diva was calling Olivia dumb, stupid. And I was like, what you say? She was calling, literate. She was using them kind of words. And slow, talking like a slave, all that kind of bullshit. And finally, Olivia got tired of it, and she cussed Diva ass out. And she cussed her ass out till she couldn't cuss no more. Which I see her point. Don't be calling me dumb and stupid and illiterate and no slave. And it don't take all of that. Because the South, we talk slow. That ain't going to change nothing. You can get mad as you want to. Well, honey, ain't nothing wrong with my brain. I might talk slow. I'll tell you one damn thing. No, this is me. I don't do nothing else slow. Okay. Whatever I need to do is get around and do what I got to do. I bet I can keep up with anybody on here. While still talking slow. Okay? While still talking like y'all say, that slave talk. Okay? I ain't changing. I ain't trying to change how I talk. And if it make somebody mad, I don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. And they go from anybody from the South, they're going to tell you the same goddamn thing. If you got a problem with it, don't talk to the people from the South. You see what I'm saying? We don't talk about how y'all talk. Y'all use language we think is fucked up. Okay? In these other northern states. But it's some of these southern states that I be saying, damn, what the hell are they talking about? They talk more fucked up than I do. But I don't tell the person that. Okay. Okay. And if you, one thing I want to let you know, guys, will you please hit the like button? And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe to me. I can, I'm giving y'all information on two damn different sectors. And I be going back and forth between the sectors as I'm talking because I want each sector that's in here to be represented. And then y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. And while Nika, and one thing that Nika made a plain on when her and Dee was talking, she said she's not going to try to change pizza. She said that she had real love for pizza. And then she was saying she was going to go live tomorrow, which was the next day, but things changed on YouTube, okay? Nika wound up going live later on because Pizza had got mad and went to her live and made a live, okay? And she made a live addressing Nika with how her feelings was on being dropped on the panel. And it got nasty, okay? I'm not going to tell you no lie. It got nasty. Well, I don't know if Nika was in her lab, in Pizarro lab. I didn't see her, but she could have been in the clouds. But Nika went live. And then her and Pizza talked. I can't remember if they talked on Nika's or Pizza's live. But the ladies came to an understanding. Okay. And I didn't see it. I heard about it. And like I've heard about this happen, this has happened before. The beef sector, no. But this has happened before. But like I said, Diva, you can get mad as you want to. You can hold your breath till your head busts. They're not gonna let you come between them. They're not gonna do it. The only thing that's gonna break that bound, that bond that those ladies have, if they get into it on their own on here. But we've seen them get into it on their own on here. And it always go back to, hey, I love you, I'm cool with you, I got your back. I ain't gonna try to change it, don't try to change me. They kind of some conversation going on. Okay? And it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay? And Nika also said that she wasn't a pump. And if you want to make it a big deal, make it a big deal. She's not gonna bow down to nobody. If a problem, in some of the words that, if you want to make this situation a big deal, let's make it a big deal. But she really don't want to go there with, with D. And that's about it, on that. And like I said, after Nika live, Pizza went live, and like I said, the women back cool, which I don't think they ever was not cool with each other. Pizza feelings just got hurt. That's all that was. And I was scrolling the streets late one night, a couple of nights ago, and I stopped over there at Ness's. And Ness was saying she was going to change their name from the Finesses. Well, next name you get, fool, fearless leader, get the goddamn dictionary out and see what the fuck it mean, okay? You wouldn't name yourself nothing like Finesses. Finesses don't mean no good shit in the dictionary. I don't give a damn how you paint it. I did a video with this some months ago. It said exactly what Finesses meant. And It don't mean nothing good. So when you rename the finessers, get the goddamn dictionary out so you don't look like an asshole this time, okay? Now, that's all I got to say about that. Talk about she thought the finessers meant something good. Dumbass. I can't believe she did that online. I can't believe she did that. But maybe next time, you'll know. Okay? Let me go up. Wait a minute. I got to go up. This thing kills me. When I get to the bottom, it goes too fast when I try to go up to my next line. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. And then like I didn't watch all of next video, but it was a lot of different people's on the panel, and then Uppity and Rex got into it real bad. And of course, like when Olivia, when she got tired of dragging Diva, she went live and she drug Diva skin off her back. Okay. And like I told you, Olivia been off the porch for about a month now. And she might not go on back up. She said she was having fun out here. You know? Okay. So, I don't know how long Diva and Olivia will be getting into it. But Diva really happened, went back at Olivia like I thought she would. But I just keep oh my God. I just keep my eye on that situation. But right now it looks like Olivia is having fun. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to Duke. Now this is when I seen Duke when he was in the back seat of that car. And Duke was saying that they say I got a gun. And somebody called the police. And then he was saying he thought wasn't nobody supposed to be calling no police. Well, Duke, you was out there all that hooping and hollering. Ain't no telling who called the police. Okay, but Peaches did say she called. That was that day they met up over there in front of Peaches' ex-husband's house. That's what Peaches said she called the police because she didn't want her ex-husband getting in no trouble because I think that's who she got her son with. Allegedly, because I don't know, but I'm just going to say allegedly. Because I don't know who her baby dad is. Okay? Duke was hollering at the car window, like when they was pulling up at the place. He said that what nigga, like out of the men that was sending out, what nigga said they were gonna murk him. And he said, who trying to die today? And he got out the car and he was saying the same kind of shit. Like I say, people do not act like that. Because if it was people that act like that, everybody, the people that think they bad, they be acting like that everywhere. And I don't see people acting like that where I live. Okay? Not in the good areas and not in the ghetto. Okay? I don't see nobody getting hollering out no car window about murking nobody. I don't see nobody jumping out no car running up down the street talking about how they gonna ill people and calling people MFers and all of that. Well, come to find out the reason that the police was called because the people over in that area, some of them do sell drugs. Some of them are doing things that they know is against the law. And they don't want Duke out there hooping and hollering in the middle of the motherfucking street. because they trying to make their goddamn money. Okay? And that's just the fact. They didn't want that heat over. They didn't want him hooping and hollering talking about killing nobody. So I think somebody from the neighborhood will call. Because, if it was at where I live in, if somebody get out there in that street in front of this house and started all that ruckus bullshit, and I know this right here ain't nobody did nothing to you, so why the hell you in front of my house in the middle of the motherfucking street? What I'm going to do is call the police on you. I'm going to tell them what kind of car you in, and that you run up down the road in front of my house, and you are cussing and hollering and talking about killing folks. That's what I'm going to do. And I don't care what nobody say. Okay? Okay, now then I went to the captains. Because I like to go to the captains. And he did allow it. It wasn't very long. But that's how I found out that the area that Duke was running up and down the street in front of, doing all that hollering, that's where I found out that that's where her ex lived. And she said that her ex-husband went to jail, and she said that 2 other people went to jail. Okay? Well, while I was over there, Big Leck was live too. And what I didn't realize that him and Captain, they lives was together. Big Leck had lost his page, and what was happening was the reason that Captain was letting him, doing that double, the double stream with Big Leck, because he wanted to, to build Big Leck's subscribers up. Like when people come to the Captain, because he know he gonna get a crowd. He would tell them, "Hey, y'all go over there and subscribe to Big Leck. I just got this live just to send traffic over there, so we can get him to 1,000." And I thought that was kind of nice. And Big Leck was on his bag up page. And he said he didn't get no email or nothing. When he was over there, him and Captain was streaming each other live. He didn't know that his other page got took until he tried to go on, and it was gone. And so that's why he went on his backup page. Now, Peaches say she also got struck because it's been striking and police calling and all that kind of shit. Well, her page got struck, and I don't know why it got struck. Okay. Then I went by Bimps, and when I went over there, Meek got brought down and Gina got brought down. And child, it was the biggest damn mess. Everybody was going at everybody. It was a full house, honey. Okay. And Room Shaker and Gina got into it. And Room Shaker said they didn't none of the men want Gina. Okay. And Mal won. Now he was one of the main ones. He was into it with everybody that come on that lake. He was, oh God, he was going. He was saying that all them niggas was scared of Duke. Like all the ones the Duke was calling out and others on over there in the Mo3 beef sector. He said, man, one said they were all scared of Duke. And Gina kept on talking about her cootie cat. And she kept talking about DICKs. And Bimp didn't want to hear it. Bimp, like, he just did. She got on his nerve real bad, child. You could hear it in his voice. And he cussed Gina out, and he got rid of her. Because he said he didn't want to feel like he was feeling. He didn't want to have to cuss her out, but he did. He drove the shit out of Gina. So Gina was talking about Sean G. She was talking about DICKs. The stuff she was talking about was stuff that Bimp don't want to hear. And he got sick of it, and he cussed out. He told her, "Are you saying with Sean G getting out? What you trying to get the man locked back up and all of that?" And she was saying that you don't nobody know Sean G actually gonna come back to YouTube. And we actually don't. But I think that he gonna spend time with his woman and they baby. I heard they got married. I don't know. Because the girl don't do YouTube. She's a cutie. And she was pregnant when he went in there. So I know he gonna want to spend time with his child. I don't know if he got a little boy or a little girl, but I know that he gonna want to spend time with his child when he get out. And we all know he's gonna want to spend time with his lady. And like I said, she's a cutie. She is real cute. But I ain't never heard somebody get on his nerves like she did the other day because it was like talking to like a tape recorder. I'm telling you, don't do this. Then when I give you a chance to talk, you back to that bullshit. And the man said it over and over and over and over. And honey, he got tired. He blew the gas. And I loved every minute of it, okay? And then I went by Lemons. And he said that Lady Snoop is still mad at him about, about letting somebody buy her down for that $9.99. And then somebody put a rumor out on Lemon that he wanted to go against the Umar boys and go to war with them. And he said he ain't said nothing like that. But what it is that Ross remix, he's saying a lot of stuff in these other sectors, trying to get everybody to go against Lemon. Okay? Well, he ain't the only one doing it, but he the only one that's doing it out loud. Where everybody know. Everywhere he go, he talking about Lemon. Like what he don't like about Lemon. So he's trying to recruit, different people to go against Lemon. And Lemon say he can send them all. Lemon say he ready. But he said he ain't trying to go no damn war. And they be talking about sector wars and stuff. Y'all, it ain't gonna be no sector wars. That's the dumbest shit. All we can do is drag each other. Some people like to do it with a whole panel full of people talking about one person. That ain't never killed nobody. I wouldn't give a damn if they did a panel on me, talk about me like a dog. I wouldn't give a fuck. I ain't come on here and talk about them like a dog. It ain't nothing but words. So how is that a war? Okay. I get sick of that the beef sector going to war with such sector, the Mo 3 sector. And then I got to go when I go to the Mo 3 sector, I go be on the Hayes or 357. Yeah, the beef sector ain't trying to start no war. I say the same thing every time that shit gets going out here. But see, I don't hang around with those people from the Umar sector, but Binary, I'm subscribed to him. And they say he coming back in May. Now he is hanging around at Lemons and Ness's and stuff right now. But they say he gonna be starting back doing a show. I guess the morning show again. And I used to go over there because he used to have good stuff. Well, I'm gonna be there when he go back live in May. Because like I do him like I do anybody else. If I don't like what you're talking about, I throw them deuces up and I'm out of there. Or either I tell them I'm listening in the clouds or I'm doing something. But sometimes I be doing shit and I just be listening, but I be all over the house. Okay? And over there at Lemons, now I'm on the same day. I was over at Lemons, I was in the cloud. And I had red balled it back because the show had been on for hours. So I red balled it back and Malik was up there. And Malik told Pizza to get in her Tesla and meet up with him, like I guess the fight. And I was saying, Malik, I couldn't believe he was talking like that. And then him and CX got into it, and he started talking about a pink dildo that ZX allegedly had on his bed. I don't know nothing about that. I ain't never seen nothing like that. I've seen a lot of stuff on her, but like I don't care for the ZX, and ZX don't care for me. But I'm not gonna sit up here and tell y'all no lie that I've seen something with a dildo with him. I ain't seen that with ZX. With ZX, he had dropped and he couldn't, like when he was trying to get it back up there, he couldn't hear, or they couldn't hear him and he couldn't hear them, and he dropped again and dropped. It was a mess. The hunted Malik hunted thread. Well, I don't know if you would call this a threat. I want you to get in your damn Tesla and come to me. I was just shocked at how he was talking because I had never heard him say something like that toward a woman. But see, Brooke was in the background, and she could have been, them two ladies could have got into it. But I just didn't like Malik saying that. Tell her to get on her car and talk to him. Like, pull up. That's the way I thought about it. Because they wasn't talking nice to each other at all. And I was surprised. And so what happened, I think it was like a day later, Envy was live. This was yesterday. I seen Envy go live. And I really wasn't doing a whole lot. There wasn't nobody really on, which I watch Envy's. I watch his replays. That's the first time I caught him on a live, on his channel doing a live. And so I went and, did my regular speaking to everybody. His show was getting ready to go off. And I hit the link. And so that's how we started talking. I think Big Rig was up there. And he was ready to go too, because he knew Envy was getting ready to end the show. So he said his goodbye and left. Which I said, Envy, did Malik threaten pizza? I say it wasn't like the people just tell you to pull up. I would say it wasn't like that kind of thing, but it seemed like he was threatening pizza. And why are they into it like that? Because I was shocked. And he said, yeah, he did. You heard it right. And then what he said, well, what we're going to do, I'm finna play it, and we can both listen to it together. And he played it, and that's what it sounded like, And I'm just saying this here. Some of these guys that get into it with the women on here, they talk to the women worse than they talk to the men that they be into it. And I don't like that. And I see it over and over and over again. They are like, pull up on the women. But I don't think it's cute. Why don't you tell them niggas to pull up that you be into it with? Why come y'all before it's all over that y'all back hitting each other on the back and high-fiving? That's just the way I feel about it. I don't like that. Hey, Daquan. Hey, boss lady. But yeah, they talk to the women, call them bitch and all of that bullshit. Hey, Shaquilla. Hey, Lattimore. Yeah. Hey, Wu Kim. I have not been getting any notifications from you, Wu Kim. Well, you're not the only one. I'm not getting no notifications, but from Dimples, I'm not getting notifications from a lot of people. And I really don't like that. And then y'all don't come up like through my feed, like the stuff that I normally watch. Y'all ain't even coming up in that. And I really don't like that. Because I be trying to support everybody. If I don't do nothing but put something in your comments. Because I don't be in a lot of the lives, but I do go back into them and I do red ball. You know, let me see what else I got, chat. And little Mama Obama, her and Rodney are still into it. Cause she hit Lemon Panel and she been hitting it like almost every night. And then Rodney know, hey, I got people, that love me, and I done told them what you say, you know, and I'm just telling y'all what is going on, okay? Wait a minute. And let me get back to Snoop. Now Snoop says she gonna start buying Lemon down. Like wherever she see him at in the YouTube sphere, that she gonna buy him down. He said he don't give a damn. He said do it. I can either go in the chat or either I can go in the cloud so I can leave. Just like you could. He said, but he promised he ain't gonna get mad at no content creator that drop in. He said, because he know how the game go. Which I don't like. If that's what a person want to do on their channel, why have a problem with it? If you go over there on these panels and in the chat, some people don't even want to see your ass in the chat. But some people have it where when you come over there, you can get bought down. And every channel is different. They have their own rules. They ain't none of them the same. Okay. And then some of the guys, they have it where you can get bought out the off the channel. They don't want to see you in no chat. They don't want to see you nowhere around here. How much would it take me to get to where I ain't got to look at Paulette ass for 6 months? And people are actually paying it. You shouldn't get mad at the channel holder. I just don't get it. And why come to the channel that take the bag to drop you? Why even go to that channel when you know they do that? That's crazy. I don't get it. What I don't get it. I'm just saying. Okay. And Rick Reed, he hit the pound. And he was talking about the situation with Nika and Pharaoh. And he was saying in so many words the same thing I said. They just hit a rough patch in their friendship. And they didn't let it destroy their friendship. Like some people do on here. That you do the least little thing, hey, it ain't cool with you no more. But Rick Reed, he understands exactly how I see it and how the different ones have been in the beef sector, seen when their friendship formed, and it's been going for years. Okay, and like I said, people have always tried to break them up. It really have, and I'm just saying, you're wasting your time. The only way them sisters gonna break up is because of them, and we ain't gonna know the whole story. Okay. But if one of them, if they break up and one of them starts spreading shit, all of them gonna start spreading shit. I just put it like that. One of them come out there and say, and she did such and such and such. And the other one say, no, I didn't, bitch. I didn't do that. But honey, that would be some good content. But I don't think, like I said, they ain't gonna do that. Okay. That's just my opinion. And honest, while Rick Reed was up there, Sparkle hit the pound. And him and Sparkle went back and forth. And Big and Pizza got up there and they drove People of the Game. And People of the Game, he's from the black sector. So on this live I'm talking about, I'm discussing the beef sector. I'm speaking the Mo3 sector. I mean the beef sector, the Mo3 beef sector, the T sector, because see that's where Sparkles and I heard King Tulsa, but I don't know. But I know Sparkles is from the C sector. And now I'm talking about the black sector. See, y'all getting all the goddamn words. But Vic and Peace on they got together and they drove the shit out of people on the game. And child, Jadon hit the goddamn link. Now, you know, I told y'all me and Jadon don't get along. I have been where I can't stand Jadon for years, but I'm starting to like her ass. I'm starting to like her. I do go to her channel sometime when she live. I was kind of skeptical on dropping down, but I dropped down in the chat and chatted, and she didn't throw me out. So I'm glad I'm welcome to go over there. And Jadon, like I told you, everybody welcome to come over here. You know. So Jadon hit the goddamn panel. And y'all know she struck Shaquem a week ago. And that fool struck him on his birthday, y'all. So he got 2 strikes against him from Jadon. Now he whining like a hoe. And other people are whining like hoes too for him. Talking about this shit need to stop. And while they're whining about this and whining about that. Jadon, keep striking that bitch because he struck you first. You were down 7 damn days. And another thing Jadon said while she was up there, and gave me my life. She said that she was going to go ahead further to the next step. And that she was going to, because she, you know, courthouse closed on the weekend. So she was going to do it online, like pay for her fee for filing charges against him for using her copyright material. And he lied and said it was his own. And honey, she going through that way with that. And I love this shit. Okay? I love this shit. But that's what she gave him for his birthday. And she also let it be known on Lemon that Shaquem still have not cleaned his page up. He can't remember the videos that he got her on them, using her material. And she said that she will be striking him again. But Shaquem, you started it. Why you acting like you want to cry like a baby for now? It's fun to get us. Hey, you one of them people you love to do all the hitting. But if somebody punch you in your gut, you act like it's the end of the world. Now you've been punching and kicking booties in and kicking backs in like you carry Lemon with like 5 or 6 strikes. Just doing stuff that's unheard of. I wouldn't have believed the shit if Lemon wouldn't have put the goddamn showing the goddamn strikes what YouTube was saying. You now have 5 strikes. You got so many days to, and we're gonna take your channel. Now he getting done like that, and he got a goddamn rob. I don't get it. Okay. And I just wanted to give y'all that little stuff. Well, honey, I was moving around the YouTube streets. Now I told you that Wu had came through 357 acting a fool, trying to argue with Cool and this and that. Well, her and Larry had got into it. Because I told you I just couldn't watch him no more, and I just shut down. And while I was shut down, he say hit Larry beat up Wu. That was the word that was running around YouTube street when I woke up the next day. And I was saying, damn. And then, because I seen how she was acting before. Well, honey, later on that night, she hit 357 pounder. And she was talking about how she kicked Larry ass. That Larry didn't kick her goddamn ass. I'm in the apartment by myself. He down the street with his mama. Well, down the walkway. Because evidently it's a building. And Larry lived there and his mama lived. Like in an apartment right there. Well, you Wu is claiming that is her shit. That is not her apartment. That is Larry's. And like I told y'all, she do run him off so she can be in his shit like it's her. She call the police on if you do him like that. Well, see, they say Larry ain't mentally all there. That he's like vulnerable. But see, she tried to make him look like a beater and all of that. Well, honey, let me tell you this. Here, come to find out now, this somebody got on stage. Why she was bragging about how she kicked Larry ass, blah blah this, and blah blah that. She was looking like a big bad bitch. Okay, I can't remember who hit that goddamn film because they got tired of that bullshit. She had been up there talking for hours, and they said something about she had been over at Buddy Lee, and she wasn't telling the story like she told over there at Buddy Lee. Y'all hear me? And 357 and 341 was telling her to turn her camera on, but they heard she had a black eye. But when she turned the camera on, now her eye did look a little puffy at the bottom, but it was not black, but it could turn black. You know, I don't know how long her bruising take to show. Okay. Well, then they started talking about how she was telling Buddy Lee how abusive Larry was. And that she had been over Buddy Lee's crying. Okay. And see, Broadway didn't know nothing about that. And so what I did, child, when I looked around there, I went over there so I could see it for myself. She was over there crying, over there like Paul me, and had Buddy down in the dumps. And Buddy was saying, "Look, you need to do this, you need to do that." And I ain't got nowhere to go and this and that. Bitch, you could go to the abusing women. They got them in every state. That if you're being abused, if you go there, the other person cannot mess with you. And they'll take you to the courthouse to get you a restraining order, all of that. Take pictures of you, if you got bruises on your body. But she's too proud to go to the shelter. She'd rather sit up in that man's house and really knock around on. You see what I'm saying? And sneak out and go lay up with other men and be on YouTube showing it. You see what I'm saying? Showing her in the bed with these different men. And I understand Larry get mad. Bitch, you end up in my house and you come and go as you please. And then you want to fight me when you get home. That shit ain't never worked in no relationship. But Buddy Lee, he was telling her to leave. And they had been through this before, time and time again. And it was just ridiculous. Her over there play crying and all of this. Showing long scratches on her face, which I didn't see that when she was on Broadway. That same night when she was talking about how she kicked Larry ass. Okay. Uh and Buddy Lee, he was just, you need to leave him and this guy. Well, my son, he loved Larry so much. Bitch, that ain't Larry, child. Where's his daddy at? Why come his daddy can't get some of his love? Give him to his daddy like you gave the rest of your kids away home. Don't put that baby in danger. Because you say you're a battered woman. But you say different things from whatever panel you own. You tell fictitious stories like you pulled your hair out last month. All that shit you did. And you right back doing it again. I don't think Larry ever touched you. But I know he's scared of you because he was running around his house, scared to even get anywhere near you with a butcher knife, y'all. And somebody showed that clip the other night. Now, anytime you are around your house with a bush knife in your hand, scared to move, scared to walk, it's something wrong with this picture. It's something wrong with this picture. Okay. Well, honey, when them people over there at Buddy Field, when they got tired of that bullshit, sitting up in the pound and looking at how Buddy was feeling sorry for her, a man jumped up on that stage and a woman jumped on the stage. I can't think what their names are. They have been Buddy Lee. You know, they've been back sector through and through forever. That man got up there and said, that bitch right there, she ain't no good. She one of them kind of bitches that will make you hurt her, make you do fight her. He had seen women like this. That you done told her, go get help, get out of there, go to safety, safety. I'm saying the same thing for the last year. You need to get the hell out. You need to get help. You need to get help. Don't nothing work. And when he was talking about kicking her ass, and that woman talking about kicking her ass, and that they were tired of her coming over there to their sector with that bullshit in it. Do you know she left? And she kept, before she left, she kept telling Billy, how much money you need? I got some money. Gina gave her $100 for her income tax money. She told that on another panel throughout the day, and then she told that I can't think of this guy's name. She talked about him giving her some money. I think he gave her like $50, so that was $150, and she wound up sending Buddy Lee some of that. Now, how much I don't know, but she said that when she sobered up later on in that day, she seen that she had sent Buddy Lee some money. And she said she didn't remember that. You see what I'm saying? She don't remember being old Buddy Lee crying and saying that Larry jumped on her. She don't remember none of that. Okay? But she remembered the bitches and niggas out here in this YouTube street like SD try to make you out a lie when you know what you seen and heard them say. And they lie and say, I didn't do that. See, I ain't got time for folks like that. But later on that night, Wu went over there, back over to Broadway's. I've seen been over to Buddy Lee, and they don't tell him where else, saying Larry had assaulted her. But when she went back to 357 later on that night, she was talking about she assaulted Larry. Okay? She bragging about it. And somebody that had been over at Buddy Lee's earlier in the day when she was saying Larry beat her up, was crying, they said that on that panel. They told her about herself. And you know what? She fled again. She need to quit all that bullshit because it don't make no sense. And she don't really need to be beating knocking around on Larry. Larry don't, he's not out there. And we all know somebody like that. But he can function enough to have his own apartment. But he don't need her riffraff. He don't need her. She need him. That's his place. And you can bet one thing, he probably got his rent where it automatically took out his account like once a month. A lot of people do. That might have issues with money. You know, when they go get their money out of jail, well, they really got took out of or your car note or your insurance, whatever it is. And if regular people do that prepay or automatic bill pay, why come Larry can't? You know, do the auto pay. But he don't need Woo. That ain't her place. And she say she on the Section 8, supposed to be getting Section 8, and they have supposed to have moved her way up. She lying. She ain't did that. Because it's, you know, I'm just being for real. In these different states that they do Section 8, which they do them in most states that I know of in the USA, them places are full of people needing somewhere to live. They wouldn't put wood against above nobody. They do vets, people that's disabled. They get it before Well, hell, we'll probably get a damn check, because she cuckoo. So now that's like she might have got put up there before the regular people. You see what I'm saying? They do the beds, like the seniors, uh, people that's handicapped body wise or mind wise, like Larry, like so Woo might have a chance, but I don't believe she can get on Section 8. I think Woo fucked up on Section 8 years ago, because she always been a street woman and having kids and effing. That's what she was out there doing. And ain't no telling what kind of house she ran when she had her little places. But I believe she got kicked out like for fraud or something. I don't believe she ever put no damn housing because she haven't had housing since I've been on her. She been with other people's houses. Like it's there. Like make Larry go to jail for 2 months and she get the apartment. Like she did him like that one time. And when he was I think he was still in jail, but some kind of way, honey, he turned her lights off in the middle of the line. We was all at 357s and she at the panel. And that's when we were at the Pressure T girl. Her and Pressure T was together and they were dancing and having a good time. The next thing we know, the lights went out. Then Woo and Pressure, what was that girl name? Whatever name started with a P. She was videoing it. And Woo went outside and started doing the breakers on the building. And she still didn't have no goddamn light. And then she dropped out the panel. And then later on, when she came back on, she had her lights back on. Oh, honey, Larry cut them damn lights off. He got that much sin. Okay. That was Slapper. Same place I don't even go because some people are just, they ungrateful. The notifications ain't been right for a long time. Because like I said, Dimples, I was getting her notification. I ain't got a notification for Dimples in weeks. Now, Deshaun, I get his notifications. I get Lemon. Sometimes I get Mahaya's. I get Broadway's. Sometimes I get Tracy. Sometimes I don't. Like, I watch more of her replays than her lives now for some reason. I've been missing some of the captains. He been did a live. I don't know nothing about it until I happen to run across it. Going through my going through what's been going on YouTube. I'm serious. I'm not, and the notifications I'm getting is notifications I don't want. Some of the notifications I don't even know the people because I told y'all I subscribe to a lot of people just to get you to 1,000. And some of those people I forgot about. Now the hell I'm getting their notifications, I ain't getting them for notification. Or I'm getting their notification, I ain't getting Tracy notification. Or I ain't getting I'm not getting my notification like I'm supposed to. And it really, I don't like that. Okay. Child, y'all, now this just popped in my mind because Lady Dipper said something about Lemon. Lemon P-bombed himself last night. They allegedly, on these thumbnails that people have on their pictures, they've been putting pictures of DICKs and Urselfs on there. And some kind of way with the new system that YouTube got, when he click on them, he might not mean to, but it pop up on the screen. But the live he did last night, he did take that part off and he put it back up. So if anybody missed that live, which I missed that part of the live, I missed about an hour at the end. I get he go is he got it now. We can go and see that part, so I can see what happened. Because I be in and out. You know. Let me see what happened next. Okay. And when Wood came to Buddy Lee, she was telling that hit the panel. She was lying on Larry again, saying that he was schizophrenic. He had the small man complex, and you know, but at least they was saying that he know people that things that's in like abusive relationships. He know how they can go, and he said that he was telling Wood to please get your child and get out of there, but she was thinking of every excuse to stay, like using her son. My son really liked Larry, and this and that, and Larry loved my son. No, Larry like you. Your son is just extra. Because if it wasn't for you, your son wouldn't be around Larry. If it wasn't for you, like the person that he used to you say like to fight on you, if it wasn't for you staying there for that kind of stuff, he wouldn't have access to your son. And then you leave your son with Larry, you might go lay up for 3 or 4 days with him. You ain't worrying about what your son going through. Larry might be treating your baby one way in front of you and a whole nother way when you ain't around, baby. And from you say this man is very abusive. So you trust him enough to leave your son in his care for days at a time. What kind of a tramp ass mother are you? You are not a mother. Like I said, you got 8 kids, ho. So how are you a mother? I'm just saying, how are you a mother? And it's 7 other yous running around that there in the world. And you ain't don't check on your son, the little bitty one for a couple of days. Bitch, you don't check on them bigger ones for months. I bet it's some of your kids you ain't seen in a year. I bet it's some of your children you ain't seen in a couple of years. Because you that trifling, you a trifling ass bitch. Okay? Let me see what. And then I had put a note in here that I remember when Larry run around that night that he was so scared of her. He was like walking the wall to go to the other room. And I put on her that she need to get out of his life. And she was doing that fake crying over there on Buddy Lee's channel because she wanted pity. And she wanted pity from Buddy Lee. And she wanted pity from his subscribers that was in the chat. And Buddy Lee tell him to leave her house. He leave that house. And she said that she was fighting for her life when he was fighting her. And different ones were saying that if he do something to her child, which he might have already did something to her child, we don't know. We don't know how that man treat her child when she's not there. But even if they're saying over at Buddy Lee, even if he have done something to her child, she's so selfish that she will stay there. She one of them kind of mom. And I put on here, I believe that she's running over Larry. And I think it's a damn shame. And I'm gonna tell you this here, what I hope. I hope all of this bullshit that she doing on here concerning Larry and her son, I hope it's a play. I hope this shit ain't real. And every channel that she went on had a different story. Some of them she had got beat up. Some of them that she beat him up. Some of them say some of them he in jail. Some of them he down to her mom. I mean his mama's. All that kind of shit. You see, it's just stupid. And she said they called CPS on her. Well, I put on here, I wish everybody called CPS on you. And people in Buddy's chat was saying they was going to call CPS on her. Okay. And like I said, when she did come on screen at Buddy's, she had like a long scratch down her face on the bottom where her lip is, going down to her chin. But you know what I believe that was? I believe that was makeup. Okay? Now I'm telling you, this is Paulette opinion. There wasn't no scratch like you scratch with your fingernail, like you done seen people scratched up. It wasn't that kind of scratch. It looked like something that was done with like an eyeliner or something. That's what it looked like to me. Okay. And then, like I said, when that man and that lady got up there, they were talking about how ignorant she was for leaving her child with that man, and how ignorant she was to be in his residence, run him off, and he's there. You know. And then they were saying that, different ones, like I said in the chat, was saying they were gonna call CPS, and they were saying that when she leave, he probably be beating on that little boy. And honey, when they how that man and that woman over there, Buddy Lee, started eating that ass up over there, telling her to fix her motherfucking life. Shout out to it, Jane. She ran. Why you run? Why you run? You didn't want to hear what they were saying. Buddy was talking to you real nice. But see, they got tired of that. And they said they don't want to go. They're not going through that shit with you no more. Don't bring that shit over there to them. Don't be a downer on their show. They like Buddy Lee's effed up Friday and effed up Tuesday, whatever they call it. Them 2 days a week that he come on for his crowd, and you take your sorry ass over there with that bullshit, and they supposed to be having over there having fun for however long that Buddy Lee been on. They want to hear what Buddy Lee got to talk about. They want to hear Buddy Lee's music. They want to hear the guests that be over there, excluding you because you're a downer everywhere you go. And they don't appreciate you coming over there crashing their fun. And that's just as plain as I can get about that. Okay. Left there. I wind up and I was hitting SD up. I was seeing his lives, and his lives was going on, y'all. And let me tell you what. Wait a minute, let me get it. Damn, I went up too far. Y'all, SD is a fool. Do you hear me? SD a damn fool. Wait a minute, let me get down. I got so much shit to go over. I hate missing days like this. Okay. SD was on. And he said that Duke was itching in line again. And he said that he acting like he a movie star. Like riding around in the back seat with all windows down, hooping and hollering out there like in a parade. And he was saying he acting like he a movie star. Like running down the street, cussing, getting into it with people, dapping, doing the dap handshake on different ones. He doing all of that. He doing all of this and doing all of that. And so Big Reed came up there. Justin came up there. and he had a girl with him, and they was calling her a slim, thick crackhead, Felicia. You know the Felicia from that. I can't remember the name. Chris Rock played on there, I think. Haley Berry. She was no, that wasn't Felicia. Felicia was the one that was on Friday, I think. Wasn't that Felicia? Well, one of the crackheads, I just put it like that, they paid on. Oh. And so they started dragging her, the girl calling her a slim, thick crackhead Felicia. And they were calling her a dope fiend ass bitch. And then the girl started laughing at no, she wasn't laughing, she was talking shit bad at them. And Big Reed was saying when he said that she had a mouth, her teeth was like a electric can of the teeth. He said the only thing that she could do with her mouth was like open a Corona beer. They had them tops on it. So you have to have them can openers. He said that's how her teeth were. Mm. And Justin was calling this girl his wife. And then Reed say, you said you said knife, not wife. And they said she had a gun. And Reed told her she needed to shoot that front tooth out, that long tooth. I was crying. Do you hear me? And Justin was so happy. Then they started talking about Ghetto, Duke, Peaches, and the Captain. And Duke was wait a minute. I can't think who was Duke. Well, they started talking about streets on that panel. And Peaches was talking about whatever street that was. See, I don't know the streets in Dallas because I done been to Dallas, but I don't know like streets and shit. But the people, when they talking about Dallas, they be talking about the different streets and naming the streets. Like this one was like Park Road Street. And so Peaches said that when she seen that Duke was on that street, that's the street that her ex-husband live on. She seen her ex-husband's house, like her Duke was out there walking around and he had his phone out. And when she seen her ex-husband's house that he was in front of that, and they was having a confrontation, that's when she jumped in her car and went down there. Okay. She wasn't actually following Duke. She was trying to make the situation that her ex-husband and other people and Duke was having. Okay. Okay. And Captain asked why he pulled the gun out of his partner's pants, like that guy that's riding him around flying, when they had been out there in front of Peach's ex-husband's house. When they got out of the car, Duke had grabbed the gun out that man's pants. And you can see the gun on the video plainly. And Duke ain't supposed to have no gun. And Duke was also calling that flame guy that was his shooter. Like he would shoot you if you got a problem with Duke. And see, is that crazy? That's the craziest shit I've heard of my life. And that man don't even know Duke like that. And he got Duke living up in his house. And now they saying that Duke's supposed to be there till the end of the year. I am tripping. Do you hear me? And I can't think of what channel I was on. It was a guy, but I can't remember what the guy, which one of these people I'd be so many places. And I did not make a note of this. But the lab that I went through, because there was so many different stories concerning Duke going around in the Mo3 beef sector, And it's some even in the beef sector and beef Duke then over there YouTube cameras talking about this bullshit before he got sick. Because he was over there a couple of days ago and he had that bandana around his head like Tupac. You know when Tupac wore that bandana tied in the front? He had a blue one on. And he was talking to YouTube camera. But they said that Duke, like that red warm-up suit he had on when he went to Mo3's grave site, they went back in his video like years. And he been had that same suit for 4 years at least. They say he did like some interview concerning Mo3. He did it in that same warm-up that he wearing now. And another thing they said that when he took 3 outfits to Texas with him. Now I don't know how many clothes Duke, but I know he needs to take more than 3 change of clothes because he said that he was gonna be there in May and April. Ain't nowhere near old clothes. We have not got to the middle of April yet, and you just got 3 outfits. I hope you got more sense than that. And the day I heard that the pants that he wore in the hospital, that they were dirty. I heard that out here in the YouTube people while I was live. But I hope you ain't around people, that Flame and his woman, and they might have kids, and you walking around there in the same clothes. That is not a good look. Okay, now one of the people that had got arrested the first day that Duke was out there moving around was a person named Scooter. Now, who Scooter is, I don't know. But that person got arrested, and now Peach's husband got arrested, but I don't know what his name is, her ex-husband. And then they said it was another person that got arrested by Duke bringing all their heat down on the street over there. Now, I made a note on here that Reed, Josh, Big Lack, y'all stay away from Duke. And I made a note of that before he even got sick. Because, like I said, the first day he out moving around, allegedly 3 people got arrested. And ain't then one of the 3 people laid a hand on Duke. See what I'm saying? But they had warrants and shit like that. And then I don't know how they interacted with the police when the police got to the scene. But don't get in no trouble and wind up going to jail and shit. It ain't worth it. And like I said, now that the man that had a stroke of some sort, y'all really don't need to touch him. Just stay away from it. Let him act the biggest fool that he could act. Let him clap chase or whatever y'all call it. And then SD, he got pissed off at Duke and Flame because he got tired of them calling each other bestie. And he got tired of them calling each other twin. He told Duke that was annoying and dumb. Okay? Okay, now Jackie, she hit the panel at SD. So she got tired of them. She had been observing throughout the day Duke moving around, how he was calling people out, how different people was when they would say, why you and Big Reed ain't hooked up? Why y'all ain't throw y'all hands or whatever? And then he said, because they won't give me no location. Or I ain't seen them. I'm ready. Just gonna be fierce, ain't gonna be nothing there. And then when they called Reed or whoever to the panel, when Reed asking him for a location, he was saying, if I drop it, I'm gonna kill you. And they be saying, hey, I thought we're not gonna use guns. I thought it was gonna be a friendly phase. I'm gonna murder you. I'm gonna kill you. Child, I'll put your addy in the back. Don't nobody put the addy in the back. And then you keep asking for the addy. Then they put the addy in the back, and then you say it's dark over there. You ain't fooling me over there. You gonna have somebody with you. It was just like a carousel. Every family you go through the same bullshit. And that went on and on and on. Okay? And and I put on here, he doing the cat and mouse games. He ain't gonna bust a grape. Okay, now when Jackie came up there, she said, Duke, I'll give you $200 if you just show up to the address. I'll give you $200. And she also let Reed and Duke know that whoever win the fight, I will give you $1,000. Well, Duke didn't go down there to get the 200, so it wasn't no $1,000 fight. Cause didn't nobody do nothing. And that's when I got bored with them. Okay, and I started moving. I said, shit, let me watch something here. Okay, well, sure. I got moving around back over there, the beef sector. Hattie, they say Hattie did a 10-hour video. And I didn't watch it because I wasn't going to sit up there and watch Hattie 10 hours. Because I want to see what was going on out here with Duke and shit. With somebody actually meeting or, and all that kind of shit. And then I was all over in the beef sector. I was all over the Mo3 sector. Like in Coolins, I was all over. Sin City, I was just moving around. Well, Hunter, they say Hattie cussed Pastor out like a dog. And they supposed to be cool. You hear me? Well, Hunter, they say she called him all out his name. She talked about this, all about this and all about that, things that they have been talking about throughout the years. And she also was doing a show. Now, I don't know where you watched this. I don't know if it was a pay-per-view or whatever. But, she was talking about paying Pastor and the other cast members. And she started talking about he didn't get her nothing for her birthday. And come to find out, they were supposed to be going to Vegas. And James had said they weren't going to Vegas. He did a video like this before Teresa went on her cruise. He did a video saying that he wasn't going on a cruise, that he was going to go to Vegas. And Joyce and him and Heidi was supposed to be going. I don't know who else. Well, Pastor came on here and he said that he had canceled their trip because I think somebody in Vivian family was sick. And everybody understand it. But one thing he forgot to do after inviting Heidi to go to Vegas, he didn't give her the courtesy of contacting her, letting him know that the trip had been canceled. I don't know if she went on the trip. Anyway, I don't know about that. I didn't watch her 10-hour live to get down to the nitty-gritty. Now, if I got a day on here where it's kind of dead, I'm going to watch that 10-hour video. Okay? Well, honey, everybody has been looking for Pastor to go live. Everybody was going over there through his church, but his car would never be there. And we kept on going back there and back there and back there. I'm talking about on the YouTube sphere, okay? So I'm one of them nosy bitches. I heard about Hattie. I kept going over to John J. Wilson's and I kept looking at the notification to see if I got anything from Pastor. Well, honey, hours and hours later, after Hattie did up the video, pop, Pastor. Pastor don't know what the fuck going on with Hattie. I don't know why she acting like this. He was discombobulated. He also put her name in the title and wanted her to come over there so they could discuss the issue that they're having with each other. I didn't watch it all the way to the end because I got bored and left Jay Wilson. But the part I see how they didn't come, Castro Cannon had got up there. Well, let me just tell you what Pastor said. Pastor said he didn't know when Heidi's birthday was. He said the most important birthdays in his life was like his lover and his family, like immediate family, brothers, sister, daddy, stuff like that. And he said that Heidi, she would be live with her birthday on YouTube. He would have stopped through. Um, he said he's not even gonna try to remember her birthday off the top of his head. He don't want to do that, and I can understand. I can understand that. You know, but he said it was more to it than that. But they say she said several things that she had a problem with concerning their friendship. What I believe they're gonna get back together. Them two. Um, I think that all he have to do is call her. I think she like in her feelings, which we being women, you know, we have mood swings sometimes. Heidi's not no little girl. Heidi might be going through the change. We don't know. And like I said, when I was going through that shit, ooh, it's a MF. You hear me? I had to catch myself so many times to not hurt nobody's feelings because you will strike out at people that you don't, you might meet a clerk at the store and stuff because I did that. And I caught myself and I had to apologize. You know, you sometimes you get mad when you're going through the change and ain't nobody did nothing to you. Your body, your hormones and stuff are acting up and it affects your brain too. We don't know. And Hattie might just got up today and just would say, fuck Jay Bills, and I don't want to be friends with him no more. That happens too. And I'm not blaming that on going through the change. I'm just saying how I acted when I was going through the change. I was acting strange. I was, it was me. I was mean to my man. And then the way I found out I was being mean to him is because his friend had to talk to him. And he was telling me when he told me that he had talked to his friend about it. His friend said, man, you think she's going through the change? But see, he didn't even think of that. And then when we talked, he said he understood me now, what I was going through. And I should have told him. Because see, a lot of people break up friendships and their lovers or husbands. They run them off sometimes. Because a lot of men don't know nothing about that. And my man did. Until his friend, hey, she might be going through, how old is she? She might be going through change. And that's when and see, like I said, I'm not saying that is what it is, but it probably is with her age. And like some of the content creators, the older ladies, sometimes they be crying and shit on here. That's all that's wrong with them. See, they don't even know they doing it. That's why they crying. Ain't nobody did nothing to them. They going through the change and their bodies change. And they be pissed off a lot. It is what it is. But the doctor can have things for that. And a lot of times just talking can change a lot of things. Because you'll be able to see your behavior. And like I said, they got stuff at the health food stores. You don't have to take no like pharmacy medicine. Um, Different recipes. Some people use recipes or teas and you know different juices, but you have to know which ones to get. So you don't have hot flashes, so your mind, so you don't be snapping at everybody. But like I said, had this that age, it could be that. You know, but Jay Wilson need to, when he talked to her, he need to have an understanding heart and mind. It's not no time to be getting smart when you call her. Or if you don't know what to say, don't call her right now. Think about it. Okay, send us a flower. And a little note. Hey, well, I'm I'm trying to understand what's wrong. That's us. There be something to put on there. I'm trying to understand what's wrong. Call me. But it's a lot of ways to. Like I said, it probably ain't even nothing. But it's something to her. But when y'all talk, it ain't gonna be nothing. But y'all don't need to let it go a whole long time. Okay. Um. Another thing she was mad about because he didn't promote her production. She called him a user and a coward. Uh, she said he liked to call and just lay on the phone, but she don't want to hear about. He don't want to hear about like her, what's going on with her. He just want to talk about what's going on with him, and that is being very selfish. I've had friends like that, and once I got fed up, it wasn't no big blow up or nothing like that. I would just see them call and I just didn't answer. Okay. And then like when I did see them, if I see them out bump into each other, we talk a few minutes, but when they start going about that I me stuff, I hit the highway. You know, girl, I called you. I've been calling you. Oh yeah, I've been seeing it. I've been seeing the messages. Girl, I forget all about calling you back. I used to use my boo all the time. Girl, I was booed up. But I can't use that excuse anymore because he passed. Okay. Okay, and DG, I went by DG and Gina. And she's trying to get back into the flawless game. And he said that she would have to change her attitude. She would have to be on her best behavior. And like some of the number one people over on his camp, they were not available when he did that live. And he really didn't say yay. And he really didn't say nay. But he said on one of them ladies that's over there, he know it's gonna be a nay for her. But on the other ones, he don't know. But he didn't let her back in. She could just visit. And he said that she had to tone it all the way down over there and be respectful. And what's hard about that? When those people was there before she even got over there. Okay? Okay, SD, he went back live. He was pissed. And this live, it wasn't very long. Hold up. I went up too far. He said he was mad. And he said he didn't care what y'all say. He said he just need to get his shit off. He said y'all can say he gay or scared. And he wanted to know why Magnificent Tyler was in his chat. But he said, let her rock. And I ain't gonna block you. And he said he been through a whole bunch of shit. He said Jay don't even know all the shit he done been through. Now I'm gonna tell you this here. I'm just gonna say this here. Now on this live, he said that yesterday, like no, he said it was that morning that he said his lung collapsed. And and he also said that he before that he was throwing up and boo booing at the same time. Now he said that he had throwed up and boo boo so that he said that when he got through, he called his mom. He said, "Mama, what's wrong with me?" Well, I think he had probably had a stomach virus. You know, something one of them little, you know how you get the little bug. I hate them with all my heart. But I think he had a bug, but I don't think his lung collapsed. But like the night before, he said he had throwing up and boo booing at the same time. And then he said his lung collapsed. But I don't think, I think you have to go to the hospital when your lung collapse. You don't just be, my lungs collapse and I be okay. No, I think they got to hook you up to some machines and shit. I might be wrong. I don't know a whole lot about it, but one of my stepbrothers, his lung collapsed one time. He wound up in the hospital. Because it's a big age difference between us. And I remember going to the hospital to see him, and he was hooked up to some stuff. Now, what he was hooked up to, I don't know because I was young. But it seemed like, don't you have to have a, when your lung collapse, don't you have to go to the hospital?
You said what now?
If your lung collapse, don't you have to go to the hospital?
Yeah. Well, I know you do.
Yeah. Jerome, his lung collapsed one time. I remember he was in the hospital. See there? So I think his lung didn't collapse. Well, he got the coffin and stuff, and I think somebody was up there. I think it was Big Lack or trying to see. Big Lack was up there, and he was coughing and wheezing, and he told Big Lack that Big Lack called the kind of medicine, and he said, yeah, that's what he had to inhale. And he said then that's when he started talking about his lung collapsing and stuff. He had like asthma, he said. And Lex say, well, I remember Jay say, how many of them cigars you be smoking. You need to quit that with that asthma. And of course, he didn't listen. And then he started talking about if he was in jail, but nobody gonna take nothing from him. They weren't gonna take his bump. They weren't gonna take his booty. He said, don't you know that he can kill you with his toothbrush? And he said, y'all just don't know. Y'all don't know who y'all effing with. Big Lack, OG Bobby Johnson, and somebody else hit the link. Duck. Wait a minute. And then when they was all up there, you know how they be fussing back and forth and all of this and all of that. Well, in the middle of it, Lack got dropped. And he thought SD dropped him. When he got back up there, he was cussing SD out and telling him why you dropped me. And SD said, I didn't drop you, man. It's something wrong with your phone. You been getting dropped. He said, okay, well, man, my bad. I thought you dropped me. And they said the Lack was high. And Duke was saying that Magnificent Tyler gave Peaches his information so she could find him. But I do believe Peaches when she say that when she seen what Duke was lying when he was walking down the street. And she seen her ex's house. But he wanted to blame it on Magnificent Tyler. And he said that he was going to start going down to the jail and he was going to charge people with effing harassment and he was going to put restraining orders out on everybody. And see, this the video that Duke was in bed with that woman. Remember I told you he was in the bed with a woman with purple fingernail, purple toenail. And then like he was arguing back and forth with Ladd, doing the drop the Addy stuff and I'll ill you and you'll ill me. And they went on and on and on and on. And then I seen Coolin had went live. So I went over there to see what she was talking about. And she said she really won't talk about nothing that she had tried to get on SD panel, and he didn't let her up. So while she was live, she called him on the phone. He answered the phone and she said, "Why come you didn't let me up on the panel? I came over there and then I went live because you wouldn't let me up." And he said that he didn't see her. He was just like doing like me. You know how I be told y'all I'd be looking around the room, looking at TV. I'm sitting up here with my eyes closed when I be live. Well, he was doing something like that. And he said he didn't see cool. Come on back over here, girl. And so when she went back over there because she stopped her live, y'all fellas, y'all come back over here. Y'all come on over here to SD. That's where I was at before I went to Cooler. So I went on back over there. And when I got back over there, child, Duke was in the car in the back seat. And whoever was driving, I don't know if it was the lady. No, I do know it was the lady because SD kept asking the lady to let him see her. And she wouldn't. And he was asking her the same thing when they were laying up in the bed. He was asking, could he see her face and this and that and that and this, and trying to guess who was in the bed with him. And then the lady started talking. You could hear her voice when they were laying up in the bed. And like SD had called her a bitch. Like, you know how they be saying, let me see your bitch. Well, she was telling him she wasn't a fucking bitch. And I ain't showing you who the fuck I am. You don't know me. She was talking to him like that. Okay, now when I seen uh Duke in the car, that's when I went to bed because I was saying I ain't watching this shit. Cause this I've been watching this shit all day long, and I say I am not gonna put any more effort into the live. I'm shutting this shit off, and I shut this shit off. So the next day, when I woke up, moving around, then I heard, wait a minute, about a stroke. When I'm moving around YouTube, stopping here, stopping there, stopping, doing like the quick things that I do in the morning when I wake up. I was doing that. And like everywhere I was going in the Mo3 sector, I was hearing stroke. And so finally, I started going into lives, sitting there, listening what happened. Nobody never did say that how he was up all that day on the rampage, running up down the street, doing this and doing that. And then, like I said, when I seen him getting up at 5 something in the morning, because that what time it was. Now, you done been on all day for a couple of days. And then you got a woman laying in the bed where you need to stay laying with her. But you want to jump up and they lay you bat it, and go do something. Now, when I woke up, that's when I found out about the stroke. And my man was saying, you ought to have more sense to be trying to be out here hooping and hollering in these streets, in them hot ass clothes, in that sun, and you hooping and hollering and getting your pressure up, walking up and down the street hard. That don't make no sense. And he been acting a fool on YouTube, and they say he really been cutting up over there on Facebook. They say he been showing his asshole on Facebook. And I heard Instagram too. And I say he's doing it. I heard he's doing it. The worst place things he's doing is over there on Instagram. Calling people out and stuff. And it's been going on for days. So I am not surprised he had no stroke. I'm not. Because he not no whippersnapper. He not no young whippersnapper. And the whippersnappers got more sense than to do that. You don't sit there and run around up there hooping and hollering. Hey, 3,000 degrees. That sure is hot, child. But you don't see no young folks. They ain't trumping up and down the street. Lemon has offered Jake a protection plan. I seen that. I just hadn't got to that yet. I watched YouTube's live. And he said, J Dunn can't be brought up the panel no more. And you know she gonna clown. You know she gonna act a goddamn fool. She gonna make it very clear to everybody that Lemon, I can't be brought down. Can I, Lemon? Can I? Hey, Shaquila. Yes. I can't be brought. Can I, J Dunn? I mean, can I, Lemon? You're not gonna let anybody bring me down. Ain't that right, Lemon? That's her. And you know what? I'm gonna be there to see it. But I had to go live because I got so many days of notes. But I just wanted to be over there because I was over there. He went live early. Lemon did. So he think he just seen her act the fool before. She really gonna act the fool right now. Hey, soul sister number one. Yep. And see, Duke, what he's not thinking, he is getting older. And plus, what if that lady don't let him come back? Because see that when he first left and went to Texas this time, they were saying that that woman had put him out. And somebody on somebody panel asked him, why he been moving around acting a fool. They asked him that I heard that you got put out. And he said, no, I can go back anytime I want to. But see, we hearing stuff and we hearing something for something. And then you remember he showed that bank statement for like a negative $18. And that was some days ago. And like I said, if you negative $18 now, what the hell are you going to do with the rest of April? What the hell are you going to do in May? And somewhere I was there when they asked him about that on the panel also, about him having a negative $18. He said that he didn't post it. So I guess that Flame guy did. And he said he had more bank accounts than that. That's just one. So, child, what y'all think, child? What y'all think? But he tell a lot of lies. I don't care what nobody say. Duke be lying too, you know. But and then another thing, like I'm getting back to what I was just saying. Duke have to be careful because if he have a massive stroke or heart attack, because he was saying that was number 2, like he ever had a stroke before. I don't know, but who is gonna take care of him? Because that older lady, that white lady, she like in her 70s, they say. She won't be able to, like if he get where he can't move properly, she not gonna be able to roll him and all of that and help him get up, help him get down, help him get up. He gonna wind up in a nursing home. That's his future. You know, it is what it is. He gonna sit down some damn more. Okay, now straight like that went by and he was happy. He was laughing. He was laughing because Duke had a stroke. He said that you took your cloud chaser to a whole nother level. And SD hit the panel and he was asking straight like that, is this real, man? He wanted to know if it was real, if Duke really had a stroke. And I put a note up on here that he had been pulling up on people for days, trying to do pull-ups and walking up and down the street. And the last time I seen him, he was laying in the bed with that woman, and then he wound up in the car. So he had that stroke after I went to sleep. Because wasn't shit wrong with him. When I closed my computer around 5:30 or 6 o'clock, it was somewhere around there. Might have been 6:30. But when I closed my damn computer, that man was in the car, in the back seat, and I think that lady was driving because SD wanted to see her because he had kept asking to see his bitch. and he should have just laid his ass up in that bed. But he might have had the stroke anyway. But they said it wasn't no like the brain bleed kind of stroke. Cause see, I had a brain bleed, but it took me a while to get back right too. And I know other people that have had brain bleeds, but theirs like was worse than mine. They had to go and cut your they skull open. See, they didn't have to do that with me. They gave me like an